Hi, and welcome to this new episode in which we're going to be talking about your practice as a singer. See, many beginner singers, they are convinced that the more they sing, the better they get. Now, is that actually true? Let's talk about that in today's episode. Welcome to this brand new episode. I am so excited that you're here because the conversation that we're going to have today is of uttermost importance, and it's all about your practice. See, many beginner singers, they believe that the more they sing, the better they will get. And maybe that's something that you might think as well. And I understand where that idea is coming from because we've all heard the phrases, practice makes perfect, right? We are told at some point, whenever we learn a skill, that the more you practice, the better you become. And the question that I want to ask you today is that actually true? Because many beginner singers, they will sing a lot without really noticing what they're doing. They're oftentimes not really conscious of how they're singing or how they're practicing. They're just mostly turning on the radio or putting a fun song on Spotify or finding an instrumental or karaoke version on YouTube and just singing along. And that's what they call practice. Now, if that's you, if you feel spoken to, let's find a way to make that a little bit more interesting for you, because we're not really learning when we're just singing along with the song without really understanding what vocal techniques are being used. So let's start here. What is practice really? What is practice? Because some people think it's just turning on the radio and singing along. To me, practice is really training your vocal muscles in a certain way so that you improve certain skills. That's what I call practice. So for example, if I want to practice piano playing, maybe I want to become a better piano player, then I can practice scales. I can make sure my fingers are moving a certain way, right? If I want to practice my Spanish, then I'm not just going to talk whatever Spanish I've got, but I'm going to look at my vocabulary or my grammar. I can try and build sentences. So that is what I call conscious practice. We have a goal and we're working towards that goal. And if we, aimlessly put on a song and just sing along, that's not really practicing because we don't have an aim that we're going for. We're not consciously working on certain things that will improve our skills to get us closer to our goal. And so then we can take this one step further, because is it always true that more means better? Like, is it always true that more practice produces better results? And when we look at top athletes, for example, well, that's not always the case. Because very often, especially if you're someone who works out a lot, our body needs to rest. Top athletes, they need to take the physical rest and also the mental rest. Their muscles also need to recover from their practice. And that's the exact same thing when we're singing. So here's my invitation to you. I want to invite you to do two things this upcoming week. The first one is conscious practice. So if you say, today I'm going to be practicing my singing for half an hour, great. Ask yourself, what will you be doing in that half an hour to move the needle? What do you want to work on? Is there a specific technique that you want to work on? A specific skill that you want to keep on developing? What is your ultimate dream or ultimate goal? And what is the first small step in that direction? How can you move forward towards that bigger vision? And think about what conscious actions that you can take in order to get there. That is your first action item, if you're open to it. Conscious practice. Then let's look at the second action item, which is all about doing that in a balanced way. And what do I mean by that? Well, if we look back to our athlete metaphor, it's all about planning the rest. So my coach has this quote that says, "The rest is the work." And this is something that has triggered me. It's something that I did not understand the first time around, because I'm someone who used to be doing, and resting was just a waste of my time. That's how I thought about it. And obviously, that had negative consequences. And now I do understand that quote. The rest is the work, meaning resting is a necessary part of achieving whatever you want to achieve. And the same thing applies, for singing. Resting is a necessary part of vocal recovery in order to be doing whatever we want to do with our voices. Sing, perform, record an album, whatever that might be for you. So resting is absolutely necessary. And that rest can be achieved, in my opinion, in 3 different ways. And the first one seems pretty obvious, but it's all about vocal rest, giving your voice the rest. So, for example, if you're going to sing for half an hour today, well, what would it look like to rest your voice tomorrow and then practice again the day after that for another half an hour? How does your voice evolve when taking those little rests in between? Compared to singing every day for half an hour, how is your voice then? See, so you can compare how much vocal rest your voice really needs. Now, in addition to that, in addition to voice rest, you can also look at physical rest, like body rest, because when our body is tired and tensed up and stressed, well, that will reflect in our voices. If my neck and shoulders are tense, that will reflect on my larynx right here, and that will reflect on my singing. So there's vocal rest, but there's also general body rest. And you can achieve that by sleeping, giving yourself a nice vocal massage, putting some heat in your neck. Like, there's many ways to relax your body as well. Take a long hot shower. Oh, great. Now, finally, the third kind of rest is more that inner mental rest, to get that mental space. Because our mind is always thinking. Our mind is just going all day. And especially when we're looking at the singing context, oftentimes our inner critic will be very active. So if you're singing and it might not be as good as you want it to, the inner critic might wake up and say, "Hey, you're so bad at this. Who are you to be doing this? Like, she's doing it way better than you are." Those negative thought loops that we oftentimes experience as a singer can make us emotionally draining and also mentally draining. So a third type of rest is to really rest your mind. And you can do that with different things. For example, meditation is a great one, but also physical activity. Some people call that the flow that you experience when you're dancing, or when you're walking, or when you're singing, which is the full circle moment right here. So those are the 3 types of rest. We have vocal rest, we have physical rest, and we have mental rest, which is so important. And I want to challenge you this week to really make the time to do those 2 things. First, choose a moment to practice, but do it consciously. So what will you be focusing on? What techniques are you going to apply in that practice time? And then secondly, take some rest, whether that's physical rest, vocal rest, or mental rest. Take some rest and see how implementing those 2 things make a difference for you in your journey as a singer. Now, I might have a bonus challenge for you, because many singers, they say, "Okay, I'm ready to practice and do it consciously, but what do I exactly do during that time? Like, where do I start?" And that's where I want to help you, because I have a training coming up. It's completely free, and it's called Discover the Most Powerful Vocal Technique. It's all about how you can use your voice in the right way with the right exercises. And that's where you can start. So if you want to practice consciously, go through that training and learn how to use your voice in the right way. I will link to that training in the description or in the show notes if you're listening on the podcast, but it's going to be down below this this episode. So that is your bonus challenge, if you want, for this week, together with the rest, and see what that does for you. And I'm really excited to hear about your experience, because some people, like I was, rest is very new to some of us. So I'm really curious to hear how that goes. Please reach out to me, like leave a comment or send me a DM on Instagram or email us. You know where to find us. I'm really excited to hear more about how that goes for you and how that helps you throughout your singing journey. So yeah, thank you so much for having been here today. I know you got many options to choose from when you're spending your time, and you have decided to spend your time here with me today. So thank you for that. I wish you a great week, and I can't wait to see you again here for next week's episodes. Talk soon. Bye.